Hello, lovely viewers out there. You are welcome to another thrilling edition of the Daily Trend TV show. And just as we do here every week, we bring you socially trending issues into discussion. And so today, we have a very interesting subject to talk about. We are looking at same environment relationship. And for the first segment, we have coexistence between people in the same environment. And for the second segment, we are talking about romantic relationship that exists between people. And I am your host, Odro Echan Abigail. I am here with my able co-host. On my immediate right, I have
Tierkun Bononer Enoch.
And on my left,
Manuela AUC Income.
And so we go for a quick break. Just don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
You are very welcome back. It's still the Daily Trend show. Okay, so ever since we all started existing, I'm sure we've noticed that human beings are not isolated. Or am I the only one who has noticed that? Yes, okay, so yeah, the very fact that we are not isolated brings us to our first segment, which is coexistence between people in the same environment. So first of all, we're going to look at what coexistence means. Yeah, so what do you understand by coexistence?
Okay, coexistence is just the relationship that exists between people, and when we want to break the relationship, it's relating with one another, living together with people in the same environment and possibly at the same time. Okay, that is coexistence.
Exactly. So, coexistence. No man is an island of his own.
Sure.
And human beings, we are social agents, and we cannot live without others. Okay. The same thing happens in the animal kingdom. In the ecosystem, the same thing happens. There's that coexistence. There's that interrelationship between every species.
Okay.
In a particular environment and also at a particular time.
Okay.
So we need to live, coexist, try to live in the same environment and the same time with others, so that interrelate with each other.
Wow, that's wonderful. So I think I agree with what you said. Yes, okay. It is the very act of existing or being at a place. Yes. So we realize that we have types of coexistence, and from my understanding, I think there are two types basically.
Okay.
Consciously and then unconsciously, we have two types. That is how I see it. Because when you are born unconsciously, you didn't choose it, but you realize just by birth you are put into a particular very good. You have the family, you have religion. Sure. Can also be a type of unconscious, though you can change it with time, but it is a type of unconscious environment you are put in. What exactly do you think of these types?
Okay.
Yes, let's look at the unconscious type of coexistence or environment that we are born in or we are put in because of birth, and then the conscious one too.
Yeah, for example, we are born into a family.
Okay.
And you don't choose the family you belong to.
Okay.
And as you are born into, you need to live and coexist with them peacefully.
Okay.
Because they are your parents, they are your siblings, they are your family members, and you need to. Every day you are living with them, you are existing with them. There's that interrelationship between the people.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
And so to add up, there are sometimes that it seems you regret being in a particular family or a tribe, but that is how things were meant to be.
It's unconscious. You were born into it. Okay.
Even though we name it unconscious, but it is quite conscious because you were destined to be actually.
Interesting.
So you have to accept. People find it very difficult accepting where they belong. Mm-hmm. But bringing us to this issue, you will learn also accepting where you belong.
Okay.
So in the tribe, in a place of your your small family, your father, your mother, even the larger relationship in the whole. And talking about the conscious, this is where in the workplace, in school, because we have a lot of relationship that exist in the world. You can't just be in your room, study, work, earn money. You have to move out. So for the conscious type, that is what you do to make a living.
Okay,
so you go out.
Daily activities actually give you a type of coexistence or a relationship with people. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So we realize that as long as you're a human being, definitely you end up being in a type of relationship, whether you want it or not, as you said. Yes. So is there a need to actually stress on the point of having a particular attitude with coexisting? You know, animals have a way of coexisting with each other, even in the ecosystem. The lion eats the zebra, but there is some kind of understanding and peace between them. But it seems with human beings, there's always a problem with coexisting. What exactly do we think are the problems with coexisting? Why is there a need to stress on peaceful coexistence? What is it about a human being that makes it difficult to have a stable coexistence or a peaceful coexistence with each other?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just as simple as sometimes we see them to be. We are human beings, and we have our particular attitude and comportment. Sometimes you want somebody to behave like you behave. It doesn't happen like that. So most of the time we have the problems of I am like this, she's not like that. This problem of I know myself, but I'm finding difficult to understand this person, the way they relate. So these things bring issues, and that is why it is so important for us to look into these things. We have certain characters in the human system. We have this envy, jealousy. Every human being has a little bit of selfishness. That is what I know. But to the level of managing it, I know that every human being, Mela, you want the best for yourself first before you look into the future of the other person. But we should try as much as possible to manage our selfishness and try to think about other people and love them and bring them together as we love ourselves.
Wow. What about you, Noah?
Yeah, the same. Because living in the same environment with people, especially your neighborhood. There's this thing that the individual differences. You cannot force somebody to be like you. Yeah, so you need to also understand your neighbor, understand your people. For example, you are living in a room, you have a roommate who is somebody who cannot tolerate anything. Easily tempered. But you should have that understanding for such a person because the person, that is his character. So you need to also try to understand the person and to live well, try to tolerate in some way because you cannot change the person's character. The only thing you can do is try to adapt to it.
So how about the problem that arises not because of your attitude but religion? We realize religion causes a lot of problems amongst people. We have countries fighting because they can't really coexist due to their religions and beliefs. What do we think about that aspect too?
For beliefs, that's why most of the time we attach personal beliefs. You think you are a Christian because you believed in it. This other person is thinking he is a Muslim and he has believed in that religion. I'm sure that you should just do according to what your religion is demanding. Focus on what you know, what you believe. If this is your faith, you believe in this man, that man, sure. Let the other person also express his or her belief. And these fightings and other things should be reduced. Because if I'm a Muslim and you are a Christian and we are living, why should our religion interrupt with our relationship?
Yeah. So, but as for religion, we have so many religions. And there's by all means, you live in the same environment with somebody who does not believe in your faith or have the same belief as you have. But the only thing we just need is we are all human beings. After all, but for religion, sometimes you don't choose the religion you belong to. Some people are born into particular religions. But if you are born to that particular religion and I'm not in that religion, it doesn't mean we are different. We are all human beings and we need to tolerate. That tolerance should be among us as human beings. The basic thing we should have in mind is that we are all human beings. And religion cannot divide us as we live together.
Wow, I really like that. And there is this saying from Socrates, man, know thyself. You see, mostly people try to look at the fault in others in their society and blame them for in case there's any unpeaceful coexistence. So what about ourselves as human beings? What will you say? I feel like we should know ourselves and then know what we want and what we don't want to enable us live. Do you agree with this or not?
Perfectly, because you cannot remove a log from someone's eye when you yourself you have a speck in your eye. So you should try to check yourself, treat yourself, know what you can and you cannot tolerate, know when to cooperate and when to leave things as it is. In a room, like for roommate issues and those little, even in a family, siblings are fighting, fathers are fighting their sons and mothers are fighting their daughters. Yeah. Some fathers even get to the point that they say, I'm jealous of my daughter because my wife is giving too much attention. It happens.
Really?
Yeah, it happens. Most times because my wife is giving too much attention to my son, so the woman is mine and all these things, jealousy. So these little things, enviness, jealousy, we should check them first in ourselves and secondly in people. But the issue is, how do we do that?
That's the thing.
Most of the time, if I see something wrong with Mela, this, you should have a way, a special way to sit the person down and talk to the person, communicate to the person, let the person say, oh, this and that. I think by doing that, it will help more than just seeing yourself as the perfect hero.
Wow.
And you know everything. So, Charlie, you didn't do this. So, you have to know ways to manage things.
Okay, so let's go to Enoch. What do you also think?
Yeah, for that one, even last week, there was a particular lesson during lectures, and that's traveling.
Okay.
It does not just mean living from your country, from your place to another country. Wow. It means first living yourself. That selfishness that is existing in the self, you have to free yourself from that one, and try to mingle yourself with the nearest society, your neighbor and your people. Don't try to be comfortable in your own self, but just try to.
But some people think doing that keeps you out of trouble.
It keeps you, but you are a human being. You are a social agent. You can't live on your own.
And right.
you need people around you in every aspect of your life.
Wow.
So I have something in mind. Is it right? People do that because they want to avoid trouble with other people. They stay quiet and calm. I know people who they don't talk. They only talk when they need something which is so urgent. Is it right for us to do that because we want to avoid problems with people? Is it right to do that?
I don't think. Well, you may see it in that sense that they are avoiding people, but I think naturally every human being has their own character, how they were born, the way they were created. You understand? Some people are naturally quiet. We have melancholics, people who don't. We have the extrovert and introvert. That's why I said, let's know ourselves. Man, know thyself. When you know yourself better, you realize that, okay, I need to work on this part of my life to be able to coexist. Because you can't say because you are naturally quiet, you are going to stay away from people altogether. It won't work that way. You might even die in your room and no one would know. Yeah, so I think it's very necessary for human beings to know themselves and then take the steps to improve. Improve their relationship with others. Yeah.
Okay. We need to get out of our shells, mingle ourselves with the outside society, with our neighbors, and we coexist with them. It's very necessary.
Wow. So from what we are saying, it means that if even I'm that calm or quiet, I should try as much as possible to relate with others.
Anything you do to just make your relationship better with your people that you are, surrounded with. I mean, it's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed this segment, and so we have to end here. We'll go for a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You are welcome back to this segment. In this segment, we are coming to discuss relationship, in fact, romantic relationship in the same environment. As we discussed in the first segment, we realized that we need to coexist with people in the same environment we live with. As we live, we try to live together, we exist, we relate with these people in the same environment. There is that tendency that you begin to develop some kind of romantic relationship with such people. Yeah. So romantic relationship with people in the same environment. So, first of all, let's deal with the meaning of romantic relationship. So,
okay.
Colleagues.
First, we talked about coexistence that exists between people. So we know that for that it is personal relation. But this one we are diving into romantic, and most of the time this happens when we develop feelings for ourselves. We are in a workplace for almost more than 12 hours every day. We meet, we talk, we laugh, we share ideas. There's this highest tendency that I will feel for Enoch or I'll feel for someone. So romantic relationship in the same environment happens when we develop sentimental feelings, to be precise, affection for one another, that we want something more than a friend, more than a worker, to bind us together in that manner, that romantic state. I don't know how to break the romantic down, but that is the affection, that is the feelings that we have for our opposite sex. I don't know if we have these gays and lesbianism, but for what we know already, for the opposite sex. Wow. I don't know if Mela can
so it's the same thing. You know, when you move from the how do I put it, the professional to the unprofessional, let me put it that way. So when you are, let's say, in the church, and you move from church member to I'm interested in you member. Okay. Yes, that's a type of romantic relationship. We have environment. So, but romantic, the word romantic itself is self-explanatory. We all understand it. Yes, it involves romance feelings. So that's
having that sentimental affection
exactly
from somebody. Because especially relating to this particular our topic, once we are coexisting, we live together in the same environment. For example, in the same school, we are in class the same day. So there's the tendency that this particular, especially Abigail, I'll be like, oh, you are in the same class. I begin to eye her and see that. Yeah.
Okay.
So romantic relationship in the same environment. What is our society accepting that thing in our environment, or does it frown upon relationship in the same environment?
Is it generally frowned?
Is it accepted in our society?
Yeah, I think that will depend on the type of society we are talking about or environment. So when we talk about environment, we've already spoken about types of environments. We realize we have religious environments, the church or the mosque. We have in the workplace, we have academic-wise education. In the market, the very fact that you meet people gives you a type of relationship with them and puts you in a particular environment with them. So, with your question, that the society frown or accept romantic relationships in the same environment, I think it depends on the kind of environment we're talking about. Because when you take people who are in the same church, if two people in the same church want to get married, I don't think it becomes a problem. Or they are going out or they are dating. Pastor and congregation.
Pastor
congregation relationship.
Pastor and the church member.
If a pastor and a church member, but I think with that one, even there's a question mark on it, which we'll discuss later. But then, with family, it's not possible in most environments. It becomes incest. It's not possible to have. But let's say with some societies, long distance family is accepted. Cousin can marry. So certain environments are accepted by the society, and others too are not.
Okay. Exactly. So to add up to what Mela just mentioned, we have the school setting, teacher and student. For that, I don't know, but I've not heard that it is being accepted for a teacher to date a student in the same classroom, especially in a secondary setting, because we know that as at that time, the child is not so matured. I'm thinking for university life, it will be a little bit okay, but for SHS, it is a little bit frowned on. So just as he said, the environment matters, and before that, the management.
How you manage the relationship.
I'm sure it is possible for you to date a worker in a workplace. No. But you have to be sure that it doesn't disrupt the work.
Okay.
Because you'd have a lot of people talking about that already. There's bringing out a whole lot of issues.
But in the first place, why exactly is it frowned upon? We know when there's a lot of controversy concerning dating your worker or dating in the same work field. Why exactly is that a problem? I don't understand.
It is a problem because we know that in a workplace, it is work. It is not just like you were talking about church. Church is kind of a community that we bring out marriage, and we learn a lot from other things. So if two people are dating in a church, we know that they have been taught.
Okay.
They go for these things. They go for youth meeting together, so they already know what they're up to.
Okay.
But if you move out from the church system
into
outside,
the workplace, let's discuss the workplace. I think that's
yeah.
part of
So moving on, if you come to a workplace, there's nothing like we are talking about dating and other things. There is no teachings on it. So people think that you are doing that because you are just with the person and you've developed lustful feelings for the person. So most people talk about that. And see this, you are a worker, let's say you're a secretary, a female secretary, and you are dating your boss or other things, and your boss calls you to the office and you are supposed to sit on the table, and another worker comes in to see this. Look at how disgusting this might be.
Interesting.
That is why the society, I think, they frown on. I don't know if there are other things
So,
that
Yeah, in the same classroom, assuming a teacher is, for example, at the secondary school level,
okay.
a teacher is dating or having a relationship with
a student. It's most of the time happens.
And when it happens that the other students get informed about that kind of relationship that is existing, when the teacher comes into the class, there is that kind of sense like
he's taking advantage of our
Exactly.
friend, so we don't really respect him.
And there's even a probability of the teacher favoring the student in exam.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
which
one happens.
yes, which is cheating in a way.
Or even sometimes that particular girl will be like, this is, after all, you are my boyfriend. So you will even give some instruction to the girl, but like will refuse to.
That
obey
is
some
where
of
the
those
immaturity
things.
comes in.
You see that? So
Yes.
it is not actually accepted in a way.
Okay.
Because at the senior high level,
It's not accepted.
the student has to concentrate on his books. At the university level, you can do all of those things, because that one, you are a bit mature. You are a bit mature, and it is quite acceptable at that level.
So in the workplace, I think let's say a boss and then his subordinate dating, people seem to have a problem with that, because some feel like it's either the boss is using his position to seduce, or he's taking advantage of the position to actually try to get a young person to date. And some also feel like because you are a junior or a lower employee and you are dating the boss, some people find it unfair. I don't know why it's the case, but do you think let's take the jealousy out, but let's look at it critically. Is it really problematic to date in the work field, dating your own mates, workmate, teammates, or dating your boss? Is it really problematic?
I think that one has no problem if that kind of relationship that exists in the workplace has nothing to do with destroying the management of the work, or the success or the progress of the work. Because if that relationship in the workplace is quite exclusive to the progress of the work, or it has nothing to do with the work you are doing in the workplace, I think it is acceptable, because you should make sure that relationship should not destroy, or you should manage it very well, as Abigail said earlier on. You should manage it, and you have to think it through carefully, because it can affect the progress of the particular workplace you are in, or for example in a business company or in a school, for instance, it can affect. So you need to try to manage it very well.
And I will also not despite the fact that a workplace is one of the places that you can really find a partner.
Oh, that one, it's very
or a dearest partner, actually. So we can't say that suppress your feelings when you have feelings for other co-workers, but what you have to do is that make sure it doesn't destroy the relationship between first yourself and your colleagues. You had other colleagues, and out of the colleagues you had someone you think you want to be in a relationship. Make sure this new relationship doesn't affect the other relationship with your other colleagues, and know how to manage it well. If you are in a workplace, it is work. Let's understand this. I am here to work, you are here to work. If we see ourselves or we bump into each other, it's just hi, hello, we go away. After the workplace, I think there can be something done. So let's try our best possible that we can manage and keep ourselves so that it doesn't disrupt our working. If it happens that way, I'm not sure people would have problems. No matter what happens, people would have problems. But as to the extent of it, I know that when it gets to a certain point, they will stop talking, because the gossips will be all around, but it will still cease after a while that you are able to manage the relationship well.
So now, how do we then manage that relationship in the environment? Because now that we are talking about managing the relationship in the same environment, we are talking about, for example, in the workplace, there's that relationship between the workers.
Okay.
So now, how is that relationship managed between the people in the workplace?
So I think I agree with what she said. Not allowing it to affect your output.
Okay.
So if I used to come to work at 7 a.m. very early, and then I fall in love with my boss, I shouldn't change it and start coming at 10.
After all, if you come late, we will favor you. He wouldn't.
See, that is where the problem comes in, and that is why it is frowned upon. You know, some firms actually create rules and regulations, and they can sue you if they realize you are dating just because of these things. But if we're able to manage it, so if I come at 7 and the boss is in love with me and we are dating, I shouldn't change my time and come at 10 or 7:30. It's irresponsible. And if I used to go for lunch with a particular group of people, the fact that I'm now dating the boss doesn't mean I should change. Keep it professional. Let it be that way. You understand? And mostly, I think it's advisable to keep it a secret for a while. Oh, yeah, I feel it's the best, to avoid gossip and to avoid output. Because you are working with other people who wish to have the same advantage as you. So if you're able to keep it a secret for a while till, it's serious enough to go into marriage, then you can bring it out. With that, there's no problem involved. But when it becomes, what if I'm dating you, I let the whole company know, and there are problems, and then we break up, and I go and date someone else, the whole company knows. I mean, you understand the kind of image? So I think you shouldn't change your routine because you are now dating someone. You don't change your routine. Be on time, meet deadlines. Just be productive, and you have no problem. That's all.
And also adding up to the security aspect, I think when you are dating a co-worker, it is possible that you allow the boss to know. Let's say we are all working. Enoch is a co-worker. I'm also a worker. And we are in a relationship and we think it will get us somewhere. I don't know how right that would be, but to let the boss know, because he is in charge of the management there. And there's something happens. So if he knows and he hears anything outside, he knows we are being faithful. But if we keep it from ourselves without the boss knowing, he goes to hear it outside, you see how it will be. It will be unfaithfulness on our part. I don't know what you also think about that too.
Informing the boss, won't he, for example, that this boss, for instance, may also be having some kind of pain for him. So he will try to prevent me from...
That is an irresponsible...
It's possible that these things will happen also, but if we want to be faithful enough to our working system, then if the boss is also interested in it, then I don't know what will happen actually, but I'm sure that is the best way to go back.
Just keep it between yourself.
Exactly.
If you keep it like that and someone hears outside and the boss hears...
You see, listen, I think, we are looking at... Now, maybe in your society, when you talk about romantic relationship, you are just going straight to marriage. Now, in other societies, it's not the same case. Some just see it as sexual relationship. Let's just have sex and then go. So, what if the person, I don't agree with it being public.
I'm talking about just the boss, not the other workers.
Well, okay, with
letting
the boss,
him know a sign of him being aware.
It depends on the type of boss you have.
Okay.
You should know your boss. If your boss is not is an irresponsible young man,
so
this
is getting so interesting, but we would have to take our last words and just wait for what will happen next week. So, Enoch, please, your last words.
Wow. So it's interesting. So it's the same relationship in the same environment. It happens. People, you can find your spouse in your own environment. You can get your life partner, but in relating with a person in your same environment, you have to be very careful. Make sure that it does not affect your output, and make sure that kind of relationship should not try to destroy the success of the particular environment you are working in. Yeah.
And so, Are we taking the last word?
Okay, so what I would like to say is I still stand by my words. Man, know thyself. You should know who you are and realize that you are not an island. As a human being, you need other people to survive. So you need to try to coexist peacefully. Don't try to do anything to put your neighbor in a harmful position. Love your neighbor as yourself.
And so love your neighbor as yourself. This brings us to another exciting end of the Daily Trend TV show. And just as we've done, you can visit our social media handles on Facebook, the New World Info TV, the New World Daily Trend playlist, and on YouTube, the Daily Trend playlist. So it has been so wonderful. I am your host, Abigail Chan Odo, and I was joined with my able co-host Enoch and Mela. So till we meet again, you can catch a repeat this and every Wednesdays at 9:10 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. It's been nice having you here with us. And so we meet again. It's bye-bye.